Ah yes, the parries, the Katy parries. Today we'll have a look at the best ones in every NetherRealm game, and I was honestly surprised at how creative some of them are. So without any further ado, let's begin. So as always, of course we gotta start off with Mortal Kombat 9, and in this game I don't think many would argue that Johnny Cage has the best parry, because it works on nearly every attack, including other supers, a bunch of different special moves, invincible attacks, you name it. So for example, right now I have Reptile set to do a wake up, and boom, got him. Doesn't matter if it's armored, doesn't matter if it's invincible, it's going to work, and you can combo after this for crazy damage. Even a simple combo like this is almost 50%, but a pro player can get even more.
Inconceivable!
And as you just saw, any combo with this parry ends with the nut punch, which denies your opponent any wake up because it leaves them standing, and you also have crazy plus frames. And just to make things even crazier, this parry works on moves that don't even actually hit the opponent, like Sub-Zero's Ice Clone. So even if you don't hit Johnny Cage, he can still catch you with this parry. And of course, this parry also works on other supers as well. Now, I'm not sure how to show that. Maybe I can just set the AI to a very high difficulty and he'll just go for it. Let's see. He did. Oh, it didn't work. Come on, hit me. There we go. Okay, so as you just saw, that's not gonna work on me. You can't do a super. My super is going to win every single time. Let's reset. And next up, I wanted to talk about Cyber Sub-Zero because his parry is also pretty interesting. It doesn't parry as many things as Johnny Cage's. It does lose to low attacks and a lot of different special moves, but still a very solid parry. So as you can see right there, I got about 8% damage, which isn't too bad. However, this parry gets very interesting when you spin the bar because as you can see, the opponent is completely frozen. So that means it's full combo time. So as you can see, this parry was what laid the foundation for other parries in future games like Killer Frost and Injustice 1. And while it's certainly nowhere near as good as Johnny Cage's, it's also not a super and only requires one bar for a combo. So you know, it gives and it takes. And then last but certainly not least, we gotta talk about Smoke's Shake. This thing was a projectile parry and it is ridiculous. For starters, it begins in just one frame. So as long as your reactions are even mildly decent, you're parrying every projectile that gets thrown. And even if your timing isn't that great, you can still hold it down. So if you're a bit early, you can still get your parry. And perhaps best of all, you can dash cancel this thing. And the opponent's not gonna wanna throw any projectiles because they're nervous. And every time you do this parry, you're building a little bit of meter. So you can parry, dash, and you're constantly building super meter. And if you want more information on Smoke, I highly recommend MK Rio's video on him because this character was the best anti-zoner that NetherRealm has ever made. And I agree with him on that point, that this character was just nuts. And then for Injustice 1, we have Killer Frost. So what's crazy about this game is that parries start up in a single frame, so instantly. So already by itself, that's really strong. This parry can interrupt certain meter burn follow-ups, it can interrupt gaps in certain strings, all that crazy stuff. However, what makes this parry extra strong for Frost is that she has the best slide NetherRealm has ever made, and I made an entire video on that if you want to check it out. This slide is nuts. And one of the craziest things about this slide is it is completely safe on block. So right now I'm telling Flash to do a 6-frame reversal on block. So that is the fastest a move can be in this game, and he still can't punish me. But crazier still, this slide is only -4. And what that means is if my timing is fast enough, I can parry him for trying to take his turn back. And while it does complement her slide very well, it also works on any string that is barely minus, because the moment the opponent tries to take their turn back, I can just say no and parry them. And then just like Cyber Sub-Zero's parry, if I spin the bar, the opponent is completely frozen. And that's a big deal because Frost does great damage in this game and she does not need meter. Or in other words, she always has spare bar laying around for this parry. So once again, this is basically Sub-Zero's parry, only it's much better because Killer Frost has much better damage and an amazing slide. And then first up for Mortal Kombat X, we have another super parry because Sonya's X-Ray is also a combo starter. And unlike most parries in this game, it does work on jump-ins and other exceptions of that nature, and you can combo after it for some decent damage. It's been a while, but I'm gonna try a basic one. So that's still 43%, and that was just a single string afterwards. In the corner, you can get even more. You can do like back 3-3-2, all that fun stuff. Sonya has some crazy combos in this game, just like a majority of the characters. And then just for fun, I was like, does it work on lows? And turns out, yes, it does. Lo and behold, this super works on lows as well. So just like Johnny Cage's X-Ray, do not breathe when Sonya has meter. And then I thought, well, does it work on projectiles? Yes, as long as the opponent's hurt box is close enough, it even works on projectiles. So don't sneeze on Sonya if she has meter. I mean, we are in a lockdown, so practice social distancing. And next up we have Kotal Kahn's mace parry, which is very similar to how it behaves in MK11, only in this game I would argue it's better simply because Kotal Kahn is better in this game. I mean, for Pete's sake, Kotal Kahn can summon totems so fast in this game that he can do it right in your face during a block string, and if you're not ready for that, he can just block and you can't even punish him. So Kotal Kahn is getting damage buffs like crazy, and his parry just gives him even more damage. And just like in Mortal Kombat 11, Kotal Kahn can sometimes recover in time to punish you. And since he has a damage buff, this punish combo does even more damage than it normally would. And then for an added bonus, the amplified version starts up in 2 frames instead of 7, so if you wanted an even faster parry to expose gaps in strings or follow-ups, all that good stuff, you could just spin the bar. And in case you're wondering, yes, it does work on projectiles. Much like in Mortal Kombat 11, this parry can do things that other parries can't. However, unlike MK11, the parry wears off much faster, but even so, Kotal Kahn does so much damage so quickly that it still made a difference during his combos. And then just for fun, here's what happened if you had a damage totem on top of the parry buff. Just look at how much combo damage this does. Look at that crazy damage, only 9 hits and 53%. That's just nuts, and that's what this character could do in this game. He just exploded with damage. And then for Injustice 2, we have Black Canary. I love this character. She is offense personified. Crazy aggressive, awesome combo damage, all that awesome stuff. But then on top of that, she also has 2 different parries. So for starters, the high parry. Nothing too crazy about this one by default. She simply switches sides and does some decent damage. 150, almost 160, not too bad. However, if you spin the bar, things get a little bit crazy here. So she gets a full jump-in combo follow-up. And once again, this character has crazy combos. So if she lands this parry and has 1 bar to burn, you're gonna eat a lot of damage. Okay, so already that's pretty nuts, but trust me, you haven't seen anything yet because check out this low parry. This is where things get crazy. Look at that. That is an airborne jumping combo starter without having to spend any bars. So if you make the godlike read and land a low parry, you get a free jump-in combo follow-up. Now, for whatever reason, the game won't let me do her meter burn soaring knee, but even so, I still have the character trait to extend my combos for more damage. But put simply, Black Canary is already the combo queen, but she also has a parry that can start off combos as well. And then next up we have Enchantress, and this parry is very interesting. It's not even a special move, it's actually an attack string, and its whole goal is to confuse the opponent, and it does a very good job of that. So right away we have Shrieking Witch and Evil Essence. They look very similar, but they behave differently. This first one, Shrieking Witch, is actually a parry, and I can hold it down if I want to, I can dash cancel out of it, all that good stuff, but then Evil Essence is actually a mid. So if you attack me too soon, you'll just get hit, and even better still, if I hold it down, it becomes unblockable. So as you can see, that's a really weird mind game, and the two are almost impossible to tell apart. The only difference is the diamond is a bit more glowy with Evil Essence, and that's about it. So let's say I'm fighting Blue Beetle and he wants to take his turn back. I do Shrieking Witch, and boom, he gets Katy parried. The animation is just amazing, and we're full screen, which is a problem because Enchantress is a good zoner in this game. But now let's say Blue Beetle is patient and he wants to block because he's scared of this parry. Well, I can just hold down Evil Essence and get an unblockable. Once again, we're full screen, I'm gonna do some keep away. Or if I want to, I can just dash cancel out of this and go for a throw. And my god, this throw animation is amazing, but honestly, Enchantress has some of the best animations in this entire game. So as you can see, this parry is very bizarre, and it's honestly one of the most unique parries NetherRealm has ever made. It has a weird 50-50 mix-up. It's either a mid or an unblockable, or it's a parry. Very interesting stuff. Definitely a very evil game of rock, paper, scissors. And then for Mortal Kombat 11, we have Liu Kang's Dragon Parry. This move was the bane of so many players' existence when this game first came out. And that's understandable because this parry can do a lot of things. For starters, he can cancel it on his strings, and then if you want to exploit his gap, he now parries you. And then if Liu Kang wants to, he can just spin the bar, and now he gets a full combo. And of course in the corner, these combos only get better, almost 38%, so a very strong parry. However, things get even more godlike because this parry also has a crushing blow whenever it beats a wake up or a flawless block. And just look at that damage by itself, already it's hurting a crazy amount. But of course things get even crazier because if you want to, you can still spin the bar after this crushing blow and get even more damage. I'm not a Liu Kang main, but look at this, I just farted out almost 50% damage. And once again, the damage only goes up in the corner. Check out this craziness. Oh my god, almost 54% damage, and yes, it did cost 2 bars, but even so, you're over halfway dead. And keep in mind, if I wanted to, I could have just done bicycle kick, and now you're left standing, so no wake up options, and I'm plus on hit. So yeah, in summary, this parry is quite godlike. Now thankfully it does lose to lows, and it also loses to jump-ins, but even so, it is one godlike parry. And then for the next character, we have Smoke again. The only catch is you have to play as Shang Tsung if you want to use his shake this time around. And just like in MK9, this parry is godlike against projectiles. If you notice there, the screen actually freezes, so the opponent can't even block this follow-up, once again, just like in MK9. So as long as you time this parry correctly, you're guaranteed this follow-up. Now it's not as fast as it was in MK9, but it's still a very good parry against projectiles. And since it freezes the screen, this parry can beat multiple projectiles. So unlike any other parry in this game, it doesn't matter how many projectiles you use, it's going to win every time, and if you land it twice in a row, as you just saw, you get a crushing blow. And the damage you get is not too shabby. However, things get even crazier because if you amplify, this now becomes a regular parry. It works on everything except for lows and jump-ins. So unlike in MK9, this parry can work on regular close-up attacks and projectiles, so it's just a little bit better. It's a bit slower, but everything else kind of makes up for it. So even though Smoke might not be in Mortal Kombat 11, his parry lives on as one of the best in the entire series, and certainly one of the best in Mortal Kombat 11. And after that, most other parries in this game are very similar. However, Skarlet's gets an honorable mention because it goes above and beyond what those other basic parries can do. So for starters, she can hold it down. So if you're a bit too early, you can just hold it and hope the opponent hits you. Trust me, it happens all the time, especially since it looks very similar to her block animation, and I swear that's intentional. But that's not the only great thing going for this parry. If you spin the bar, Skarlet gets a little bit more health back. So not only are you doing 15%, but your health bar is getting a bit more full. And then last but certainly not least, if you land 3 parries and then spin the bar, you get the crushing blow, which does some really beefy damage, and you also got some health back. Oh, and there's also damage over time. I almost forgot about that. Man, look how much damage that was for a single parry. And keep in mind, I also got health back, so the life gap is actually even bigger. So yeah, this parry is very similar to other parries in this game, but it just goes above and beyond. Its meter burn option is amazing, she gets health back, and she has a crushing blow. So there you have it, everyone. That's about it for the best parries in every single NetherRealm game. But please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which parries do you think are the best? And then while you're down there, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And finally, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell? That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.